afternoon. I'll now call to order the regular council meeting, Monday, May 5th, 2025. Time is 5 p.m. And start with our land acknowledgement that we respectfully acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the unceded ancestral territory of the Silks, Okanagan peoples and the Splatsin of the Secwepemc Nation. Start, we'll be looking for an adoption of the agenda, that the May 5th, 2025 agenda for the regular council meeting be adopted. Do we have a mover? Councillor Todd, and second Councillor Wayner. Thank you. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. And the adoption of the minutes of the April 7th, 2025 City of Armstrong regular council meeting be adopted. A mover, please. Councillor Valstar, second Councillor Drapla. All those in favor? Oh, sorry.
But
I have it right here on my notes too.
Yeah, I think we missed the opportunity to pay respect to former past Councillor Linda Fisher, who is not with us to watch every meeting anymore from down here. And I'm wondering if there's an opportunity to have them included in the minutes somehow.
Yes, if we could please add that to the April 7th minutes that we did acknowledge her passing at that point in time, and we'll reflect that. Thank you, Lori. All right. Yes, let's do that. And then we'll move forward to adopt that as amended. Mover Councillor Valstar, seconder Councillor Dropla. Again, thank you. All those in favor? And that will be carried unanimously. And also we have here the special council meeting minutes from April 22nd, 2025. That those minutes be adopted. Mover Councillor Dropla, seconder Councillor Todd. All those in favor? And that too will be carried unanimously. And right on time, we have the Vernon North Okanagan Detachment first quarter report. Welcome, welcome.
We'll do that again. Good evening, everyone. I have Sergeant Tori Ramiller with us here tonight. He'll speak to some of the stats and provide a little bit more of the context to the numbers, which kind of helps. Some small increases that result in large percentages. So, perfect. So what we'll do is time. This is a presentation where you get to I'll just ask you just to So we'll just quickly go over total calls for service, and I'll be focusing specifically only on calls. So you'll see that for this quarter, we have 271 calls for service in total, which is a 5% increase. So over the previous fiscal year, same quarter, you see that in 2024 was 258 calls. So very small. Explainable, it's just we take a lot of calls, some that are assistance types calls, others that are criminal investigations or traffic related. So it's a very, very small number. So not really effective. Next one. Okay, criminal code offenses. So you can see that we have a 14.28% increase. Again, a very small number, 63 in 2024, same quarter, as to compare to 72. And if Corey wants to please interject on. Well, actually, this one I didn't have an introduction, but you can if you want to.
Well, I think these percentages, we look at real numbers.
I do apologize. We only had 5 minutes rehearsal time today, so we're just still getting our act. Go ahead and slide. Okay, violent offenses. So threats file to criminal harassment to an actual assault where there is person's defense. This reporting period is 23 versus 19 of the last fiscal, and that is a 21% increase. Again, we are always concerned with any type of increase, but very marginal.
Right. So in doing a deeper dive into these type of files, what I did find is the large majority of these files are files that have occurred between parties that know each other. Of course, you can't account for that, whether it's a domestic dispute, whether it's people in a civil matter who get upset at one another. You can't account for how those interactions are going to occur. But what I can say for certain is that you don't have an anonymous stranger walking around doing violent crime against the citizens of Armstrong. That's just not the case. So hopefully that gives you some context as well.
And property crime, you'll see that we had 27 incidents as occurrences reported, and 25 the previous 2024 period, same reporting period. Again, that is such a very marginal increase. Accounts to 8%, which I'd say is not, the percentage is not really proportionate to the number of calls, only be an increase of 2.
Yeah, so when I took a look at the type of files that we were dealing with, we had, of the thefts, all of them were very minor in nature. We're talking about files where it's a scoring issue more so than anything for us. For example, one of our files involved a mother reporting that a child took their laptop to their father's because they're living separately, and she reported a theft and she wanted the laptop brought back. It was handled informally, but of course that comes on a statistical issue as showing as a theft of an incident. So we're talking about files like that. We had another file where we're talking about an interrupted shoplifting where the actual theft never occurred, but it's an attempted theft. A stolen license plate. We had a report of a jet ski that was possibly stolen property, because just possession of stolen property can account. That jet ski went missing 5 years ago, and the person found it on Facebook, or thought they had, but when we dug into it, it actually wasn't the actual jet ski. So it took a little time for that to come around. But those are the kind of files that are accounting for any increase that we do have. So again, we're in pretty good shape here in Armstrong.
Overall, I don't really need to speak to this too much. Our integrated crisis intervention team still provides support to the Armstrong and other rural areas. So there's a number of calls that they've attended out this way to help with those individuals suffering from mental health and needing assistance. So they're in the report if you choose to dive in a little bit deeper. So, and that is pretty much the end of our reporting. The only thing that I'd like to make mention tonight is in the last 2 weeks, the Vernon North Okanagan RCMP detachment has rolled out body-worn cameras. So all our officers well on duty will be wearing body-worn cameras. We have a full policy in regards to the deployment of the camera when they are on and off, and say they sit in buffering mode. So even if Tori doesn't hit record, it buffers for a full 30 seconds. So it captures 30 seconds pre-hitting recording, no audio. So they're a great tool for us. Statistically, we've found that public complaints have gone down as we have actual evidence to the interaction. We found that the evidence is more compelling in court, and in our test sites, we found that our actual guilty pleas have gone up, such as in Prince George and Kamloops, where they've been deployed for several months, and even Kelowna now too. So a little bit more work involved, because obviously we have disclosure, so there's a bit of more clerical assistance that we're needing as far as transcription, because of course once we have a piece of evidence, it now needs to be disclosed to the courts, and then we have a whole memo of understanding as far as the format and how that gets done. So a great tool, but like anything, comes a little bit more work. So is there any questions for us, or
Councillor Todd, to begin with, please.
Hi, thank you for that. I just had a question about the traffic contacts. It jumped up 42%, and I'm just wondering, is that just a product of more police presence?
I can speak to that. Thank you for coming up. We had a very deliberate plan to try and increase our traffic contacts over the last quarter. So one of the things that I was doing in the detachment is really kind of beating the drum a little bit to get the guys out on the road. It increases the traffic contacts, but anytime you see police car with its lights going on, that's going to deter crime. There's a proven statistic that police contacts and visibility in general stop it. So our hope is it'll have a twofold effect. We will slow down traffic, we will make roads safer, but we'll also hopefully decrease what criminality is occurring in the area. So it was a deliberate action, and the guys responded well. They're doing a great job with that. So
That's great. I appreciate that. And just continue on with it. That was great. It's the best, more we can do to slow things down and make it safer for everybody. That's wonderful. Thanks.
awesome. Thank you.
Councillor Fowler.
Thank you. Thank you for your report. I was going to ask the same question, but it did remind me I was on my way back from Costco today, and I wasn't speeding because I had spent too much money, and I didn't want to have to divulge that information. But the thing was, the traffic started slowing down. I could see the brake lights going on and the traffic up ahead of me along the Cal Lake there. And sure enough, there was a RCMP with his lights on. It just automatically slows everybody down. Even those that were going with speed go slower.
Yes, in our use of force intervention model, right in the center is officer's presence. And usually sometimes just our presence alone, be it a police car on the side of the road, whether they have their lights on, whether they're conducting traffic enforcement, or whether they're busy report writing, just that police vehicle there can alter people's behavior. So we definitely, Tori's done a great job. I have asked that our contacts increase because like Tori, I echo those sentiments that traffic interdiction stops crime. It's road safety, catching impaired drivers before someone's hurt or even worse, killed. So very important. And as a frontline officer, our duties are general. It's general duty policing for a reason. And so when you don't have a dedicated traffic unit, you ask your frontline officers to participate in that activity, which is great for community safety. So
That's actually, that just reminds me, I was on holidays in Turkey last month. And down the road, as you're driving along, they had cardboard police cars with flashing lights on it. And you can't tell from, 500 yards away what that is. Everybody just starts slowing down until you get there and you see, oh, it's a cardboard police car. But it didn't matter because it slowed the traffic down.
yeah, I will share with you, having come from Surrey, we deployed a cutout Mountie with a life-size vehicle. And it was strategically deployed in different hard crash zones. And that's exactly it. It didn't matter whether it was carport or grill. From a distance, it did the job for sure. So there's another area in BC that's deployed the same method as well. And I mean, you have to be very strategic about that. That's not something you could leave in the same location for very long. It becomes someone's living room trophy. Yeah. So excellent. The last thing I want to raise is another initiative that I have set forward in both city and rural here in your community is called the High Five Friday program. And so what we're trying to do, and we're trying to normalize our officers' attendance at elementary schools. We want it to be seen as a positive thing. And when a police car rolls up on school property, we don't want it to be, oh no, something bad has happened. We want it to be where we're approachable. We're here to be community helpers and support the community. And so that is something that also will be reported on in the future is the number of visits we've made intentionally to the schools for this purpose. Very, very informal, just asking the officer to go in to introduce themselves to the admin teams at the schools, let them know what the purpose is. And again, it's part of that broader scope of engagement, especially with that youth sector that I deem it to be very important, as does Tori as well. So, yeah. Thank you.
Any further questions? I just wanted to thank you all for being out there all the time, 24 hours a day. We appreciate it. Watching these numbers climb higher are a little concerning, as they would be in any municipality. But by providing some of the context that you did to those numbers and why they seem to be climbing is a great benefit. We all like to know that we live in a safe, secure community, and really our community people rave about how comfortable they feel here. And so it's nice to hear that the numbers really aren't climbing, and there's sort of explanations for what's going on. But once again, thank you very much for all your work.
Yeah, we appreciate that. I on that sentiment too, just to quickly note is you can't look at police statistics just on the face value as well. Also looking at population climbs or decreases or increases also, because the more visitors or summertime when you have guests come in or visitors come into, that also is usually a trend as well that we see. So very good point. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we're going to be moving on to departmental updates. The report's been provided, so really we're just going to go if there was any questions for any of the department heads moving forward. Now would be the time to ask. Councillor Weiner.
Yeah, just looking at I think there was a piece on here about designated truck routes for lots of planning. And I was just curious if the farm equipment, how that fit in with the truck routes.
Thank you, Councillor Weiner. The fire equipment would be able to go everywhere. It wouldn't have to stick to the designated truck routes. Is that what you're thinking?
Sorry, farm equipment.
Farm equipment. I think it would probably depend on the size of it and the weight of it. But we're really at the very, very beginning stages where we just brought some of the players in the community together to talk about some of their concerns and some of the opportunities. So we haven't really delved into it very deeply yet.
I'll wait to hear more. Thank you.
Councillor Feller.
Yes, thank you. I was just wondering if, I know it's early, but if there's any update on the turbidity issue and what's happening up on the top of the hill?
Yeah, I can answer that through your worship. We did switch over to our wells on Friday. The turbidity levels were just consistently staying high enough that we couldn't meet our NTUs going through the water treatment plant. So we made that decision to switch over to wells, and we're going to continue to monitor for the next 2 weeks to look to switch back over to Fortune Creek flows. So far, it's been not too bad. We're getting some overnight recovery with temperatures. We're not getting the quick runoff as we do when we have the warm overnight temperatures. We're just outside of our parameters, so I anticipate it'll probably be a shorter duration on our wells, but we are at that point.
Just to follow up too, so we still can hand water on our days till at night and then early in the morning, right? That's the restriction? So
Yeah,
I'm just,
that is correct. We are at stage 2 restrictions under the updated stage 2 restrictions from last year. So there's the chart on our website, which outlines which is permitted based on your address, hand watering for food production, new plants, and so on and so forth. So that resource is available.
so I was just wondering though, if the downtown, for the adopted flower beds, the public works flower beds, if we still have that option, is the water on yet? Or I actually haven't been down and checked them all. I know that we saw some people out there playing with the water taps a couple weeks ago, but I don't know if the water actually got turned on or if they're ready to be used.
Crews are in the process of turning on all the irrigation systems and testing them. There's a few more to go, but they are largely energized and ready to go.
And one more thing, the city flowers, I think, are arriving on May 15th. And so from the same place, the garden club is getting their petunias for the planters. So just, I don't know if anybody has mentioned that that's happening, if the planters could be ready by the 15th so the garden club could get them put in.
Yeah, our crews are working on getting everything prepped for that. We are going to watch where we're at with the water restrictions. We may hold back planting until we're off water restrictions, but we'll make that call closer to the date we have the plants picked up.
Okay, could I just add then maybe if May 15th isn't going to work for the garden club, that somebody talks to the garden club, because they will be picking up the plants and don't have a place to keep them. So it's kind of important to communicate with them.
Councillor Belster.
Thank you very much. Just a question on how the road infrastructure is holding up on Okanagan Street between Wood Ave and Highland Park. Like, because we had to close that down because of the creek being high.
Yeah, through your worship, we have taken some temporary measures under our emergency activation. So we have some steel road plates that were placed on top of the box culvert on Okanagan headed towards Colonial Farms. That is in place to allow Colonial Farms to continue to operate until water levels drop low enough to where we can do a more detailed structural assessment of the effects of the freshet. And then from there, we'll have an engineering report on next steps. So one of the recommendations out of that report is to limit the volume of traffic on that box culvert in the meantime until we can do that assessment. So we have continue to keep the road closure in place, preventing traffic coming from Highland Park down to Okanagan until such a time as we can have that assessment done and look at some remediation steps.
Councillor Fowler?
One last comment. I'm 100% excited to see a Public Works staff member making such a difference in the downtown landscaping. It's bloody amazing. Just if that could be passed on to whoever's responsible, that would be awesome.
I will take the opportunity to give the shout out. That is two of our new employees, Kelsey Major and Travis Campbell, have been doing a lot of that work in front of the liquor store and down along Askew's, a healthy pruning along Hedge Row, and combined experience between the two staff members has been a great addition. We do have a summer student starting on Monday to help that team as well, so we are excited and happy to have them on board.
Thank you, Mr. Ackerman. Was there any further questions of staff?
If I could, Your Worship?
Oh, sorry, Councillor Nietzsche.
Yeah, thank you, Rich. Through the chair, Brad, or to the Public Works Manager, could you just give us a brief update on the sewer treatment pilot project?
Yeah, through your worship to Councillor Nietzsche. We're continuing to work with Matt Mulhaney on the terms of the pilot program with Community Liquid Waste. So that process is ongoing. In addition, we are doing some power upgrades to be able to support the pilot project over the treatment plant. So we do have an application in with BC Hydro for design for temporary service, and we're hoping to have that installed in the next week or so to be able to move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, we'll carry on. Presentation reports, development variance permit. Oh, yes, sir. Are you excusing yourself?
I need to declare a conflict of interest with this, as I may be their electrical contractor.
Thank you, Councillor Valstar. And Lori, are you going to lead us through this? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship and Council. This is a review of the development permit and development variance permit that was approved at the last council meeting. Post that council meeting, I'm wondering if I have the right presentation. Oh, I do. Okay, so after that council meeting, the Public Works Manager, the Operations Manager, and I sat down and talked about this roundabout kind of cul-de-sac bulb at the end and how challenging that's going to be for the city crews to conduct maintenance. So we reached out to the applicant and suggested that they consider an alternative strata type road rather than a public road. And they were supportive of that. So they have come back with a new design. Sorry, this bar makes it a little hard to see, but it's basically a hammerhead design. It provides a lot more green space, a lot more permeable area. It means that they only require that back variance. They don't require the one in the front anymore. And it'll be better for stormwater infiltration and just livability on the site. They also removed the tree from the landscaping and did a few updates to that. And they have slightly rejigged this building here to set that corner back a little bit farther from that right-of-way. And they've committed to working on proper footings that wouldn't be impacted if we need to excavate in the right-of-way in the middle. So I brought this before council to ask you if you would be willing to rescind your previous motions and then put forward a motion to support these changes. So my first recommendation is that council rescind the motions that were adopted at the, yes.
Just before we proceed on this, I noted in the notes that we still needed engineer's approval even with these current changes. So is this the opportune time to bring this forward, or is it the opportune time to bring this forward when we have a plan so we don't have to change it again?
So the engineer's approval is more related to off-site servicing. If there's a need for any upgrades off-site, it wouldn't affect the layout of the plan, which is, this is really a form and character review of the process. That's what the development permit's for. And we're going to continue to work with the applicant to make sure that the servicing, the pipes are all sized appropriately and the servicing meets. But with the new regulations from the province, we can continue to do that through to a building permit now.
Thank you. So just on that topic, the people who were on hand at wasn't a public hearing, what was it, just a
Council
meeting?
meeting, yeah.
Were concerned with sewer concerns in their area, and they were going to get back to City Hall. Did they have an opportunity to speak to anybody and calm their concerns?
Thank you, Councillor Fowler. I haven't yet reached out to them. I wanted to, I've been focused on trying to get this kind of new iteration back in front of council, but I will reach out to them and outline for them the process of reviewing the flows that come out of there and pipe capacity. And I think there may have been just some challenges that happened when we were doing the pipelining that didn't actually reflect the capacity of the pipe. So I think it's maybe given an impression of less capacity than there is. And we have already requested those flows, so we're just waiting for those. So the first recommendation is just to rescind the resolutions that you adopted at the past council meeting. And then the second recommendation is that the variance be authorized for just the one variance instead of the two, and that the development permit be authorized as per the revised plans.
Can I have a mover on the first motion then? Councillor Wayner, thank you. Seconder, Councillor Drapla. Any discussion? Seeing none, do we have any problem with all the amendments made to this plan at this point in time? Councillor Nietzsche, would you be comfortable moving forward with just adopting Lori's recommendation and the rescinding of the previous DVP?
Yeah, I have no issues with all of them. I think the first resolution though is to rescind, and then we have to pass the next one. So I think there's a two-step process here. Is there not? Yeah.
Thank you. Then we'll call the question. All those in favor? Will be carried unanimously. And you can present the next one. Thanks, Lori.
Great. So the next resolution is that development variance permit 2505 for the property at 3755 Patton Crescent for the 5-building 20-unit project to allow the zoning bylaw rear lot line setback to be varied from 5 meters to 3 meters be authorized.
And a mover on that motion, Councillor Drapla, seconded Councillor Todd. Any questions? Councillor Todd.
Does this add parking as well? Does this add 5 spaces or 6 more spaces there where the cul-de-sac was?
Yes, sorry, through your worship to Councillor Todd, they did add more visitor parking. They were already exceeding the bylaw in parking requirements, so I didn't kind of highlight it, but yeah.
Any further questions? All those in favor? And that will be carried unanimously.
All right, thank you, your worship. So the last recommendation is that development permit 2504 DP for the property at 3755 Patton Crescent for this development, as shown on the attached plans with the revision date of April 28th, 2025 be authorized.
And that'll be moved by Councillor Todd. Was that second by Councillor Fowler? Thank you very much. Was there any question? Seeing none, all those in favor? This too will be carried unanimously. Thank you. And moving along to the RDNO Fire Dispatch Amendment, bring Councillor Bellstar back in the room. Terry, were you going to discuss this for us? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. The RDNO received a planning application for 2 properties in electoral area C, which triggers the addition of the 2 properties into their regional dispatch, fire dispatch. So that bylaw requires 2/3 approval from the participating members, Armstrong being one of them. So the recommendation from staff is that council consent to the RDNO adopting a bylaw to amend the regional fire dispatch service.
So moved.
Do we have a mover on that amendment? Councillor Fowler, thank you. Councillor Bellstar, thank you very much. Was there any questions? Seeing none, I will call the vote. All those in favor? And it'll be carried unanimously. And once again, the 2025 tax rate bylaw. Moving forward, the City of Armstrong 2025 tax rate bylaw number 1936, 2025 be adopted. We have had the first 3 readings on the 22nd of April 2025. Do we have a mover, please? Councillor Valstar, seconded Councillor Weiner. Any further question? Seeing none, I will call the vote. All those in favor? And that too will be carried unanimously. On that note, we will be looking for a motion to move to an in-camera or a closed session. The council moved to an in-camera pursuant to the Community Charter Section 90, subsection 1, subsection G, litigation or potential litigation affecting the municipality, and subsection K, negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of a municipal service that are at their preliminary stages, and that, in the view of council, could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality if they were held in public. Do we have a mover, please? Councillor Valstar, seconded by Councillor Drapula. All those in favor? And we will move to a closed session. Thank you, everybody.
Counselor Nietzsche, can you hang up and then I'm going to restart the meeting just to get the live stream off?
Will do.